Tune in now to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve-O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon E, and we're here on another episode of 910 Sports, episode 40. Got my man Steve-O, you know what I'm saying, in the building. Well, I just want to thank God for the opportunity to be here, for us to be here as a team to be able to do this thing.
Yes, sir.
See, the one thing that's special about this episode is episode 40. So to me, that's like a landmark number. 40 episodes in. Started this thing back August, and we've been going strong ever since. The crazy part, I started off, the first episode was by myself. First two episodes was by myself, and then even the first episode, I actually had to do the first episode like I was supposed to have a special guest on, and they ghosted me, and I ended up having to do it by myself.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I had to do like the first hour, like just by myself, like you know what I'm saying, like kind of wing it.
I got you.
And you know what I'm saying? But the thing that saved me, because I had done it before, like I had done radio before, so I kind of knew what to do and how to do it, and it was kind of funny because like everybody was like, people that watched that particular episode, they didn't realize that, I was like, yeah, at the end, I told them, I was like, yeah, I kind of had to wing this thing or whatever, but they didn't even realize that, they was just like, yeah, okay, you did a good job at it. Then the second episode, the guest we're going to have on today, you know what I'm saying, he was my second guest. So today, the guest we have on today will be the first guest we ever have back on for the second time.
Oh, that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I did that for two reasons. One, because of what he's accomplishing, and I told him I was going to bring him back. And two, to show people that when we mean what we say, that we actually support people and what they're doing.
Yep. You
know what I'm saying? So, what I'm going to do real quick, though, we got on our new episode that started on 910 Sports and 910 Sports Entertainment Network last week, the Planet Velvet. Yes, they have a movie that they coming out with, and I'm gonna show the quick trailer for everybody's watching. So it's not, if you listening, you can't really, you're not gonna really, it's not that much dialogue in the trailer, but if you're watching, you can be able to see the dialogue. So I'm gonna show the quick trailer of their movie that they coming out with real quick. The movie's called Paradise. So it's like a real 1 minute clip. So I'm gonna let everybody see that right fast before we get into it.
Okay.
When you see your wife, how does she make you feel?
She's peaceful. Trip to paradise.
Okay, so that looked like a movie called Paradise from my man Anthony Velvet Hall, our other partners here on 910 Sports Entertainment Network or whatever. So matter of fact, the star looked like my guy from Oval. You don't know if you watch that show Oval on BET, that Tyler
Yeah,
Perry show.
you know what? He do look familiar. Then
I think that's him. I think that's him or whatever.
I
So
was
it looked like
watching
some.
the trailer. I was actually sitting here looking at it myself, and that was the first time I seen it. I didn't see it in his last week episode. And
Yeah. But yeah, it looked like a very, and that's another thing for anybody that's watching. If you want anything that you want it marketed, promoted, you want to sponsor what we got going on, you know what I'm saying? DM me at Icon E. Oh, I gotta get it right. I always forget my own email. 910 Icon E at 910 Sports at Gmail. So if you want to hit me up on there or whatever, if you want anything sponsored or marketed or whatever, just hit me up on there and we can, make something shake for you or whatever. Because we got a lot of big things coming, so you're gonna be able to get a lot of exposure in what we got going on. You know what I'm saying or whatever. So anyway, man, let's first thing to get into. First thing first, man. Let's get into this new hire that the Lakers made. Um, you know,
Darwin Ham.
Darvin Ham, and I know I've been seeing a lot of like pushback on that hire, and some people, a lot of people don't like the hire. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm kind of in the middle with it, whether I do or don't like the hire. The reason why I do like the hire for of course being a minority, being that we do need more black coaches or minority coaches in general in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of balance the power and just give us, more opportunities. That's first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I'm kind of like I don't know because with the Lakers organization, a lot of time I feel like they hire coaches that they can control over the last few years. They don't really. It's not like when Jerry Russell was around where they try to hire the best candidate. I think they try to hire coaches that's either cool with them or somebody they can control, or whatever. That's why I didn't like the Terry Stott coaching hire if they would have made that at all because he just reminded me of the offensive version of Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel, yeah.
And I just like, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? So, and they don't really need an offensive minded coach. To be honest with you, they need somebody. They need a defensive minded coach like Frank Vogel, but they need somebody that was gonna stand on the square. Now, from all indications from what I hear about Darvin Ham, he don't play. Now, I'm hoping, but then at the same time, I don't, coaching style depend on what that means. Because like I told people, I said, well, think about Tyronn Lue didn't play no games.
Yeah, you said that.
Well,
Yeah.
he wasn't afraid to get in LeBron's face or whatever, or to say do what he had to do when he was at Cleveland. So, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, but I heard that's the same thing I heard about Darvin Ham. That he a good guy, he a good coach, he know the game, but he don't play either. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. You know what I mean?
I know he's been on a few teams as far as assistant coach. He's been in Atlanta, I think, twice as an assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
With Woodson, and I think he came with Coach Hood at one point too. So
Okay.
I don't mind the hire from a basketball standpoint. Like I think he do know his X's and O's. I think he's paid his dues. He sat on the bench of some great coaches. I just feel like you said, they made a easy hire, somebody that they can control, somebody who's not gonna push back. You know what I mean? He's gonna go with whatever the front office kind of tell him to do, instead of saying, no, this is what we need to do to get it done. I really thought Mark Jackson, that would have been the perfect marriage with him and LeBron right there in LA. I was hoping Mark Jackson would have got his second chance. You know, he get a chance to go after this Golden State team with a formidable team. I always felt like he needed a chance to get them boy back and let him go and get Steve Kerr. But I always wanted Mark Jackson to go back and have a fire team. I didn't want him to go back somewhere where they would rebuild. And I didn't want him to go back somewhere where they wanted to, draft and start a rebuild and start young or fresh. No, I wanted Mark Jackson to get a team like he left, damn near championship groomed, and walk into a situation like that as well. But I don't know, man. I really wanted Mark Jackson to be in LA with LeBron. I thought that would have worked because I know Mark Jackson, a little old school. I think him and LeBron may have been able to get on the same page when it comes to stuff like that. But then again, maybe you look at Mark Jackson now and say, damn, like, what is really the issue? Because you ain't get a Lakers job, you ain't got none of these recent jobs. Golden State let you go. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna diss the hire. What do I think it could have been a better hire? Maybe, but then you know what I'm saying? Darrell Ham, give him a chance. He's just like that dude in Boston. You'll never know what you're gonna get till you give him a chance, right? So,
Exactly. That's why I set out at the same time. I want to see us get more jobs. The only issue I have sometime with, I think that sometime when we get hired in the NBA or whatever on the NBA level, especially, I think some of these coaches or coaches that are almost like I ain't gonna say puppets, but they're like coaches that don't have like that pushback or don't have that. Some of them don't really have the backbone to really kind of stand on their own like merit or morals or whatever. It's like they just kind of just happy to be there type deal. You know what I mean? Like,
yep,
um, I just think like I think we need to give some of these newer coaches I think you need to have some of these coaches that really, really played in the game, like the Jerry Stackhouse, the Sam Cassell's.
yep.
I think these guys need to get the opportunity. I don't know. My thing is this: I never understood how Steve Nash jumped the line.
Jumped
You
it,
know what I'm
man.
saying?
Him and
That's
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr did too. I know Steve Kerr was an assistant coach, but he had not as long as some of the guys in front of him.
yeah. I mean, I can understand Steve Kerr a little bit more because he did come up on the lineage of Greg Popovich.
Mm-hmm.
So I can appreciate Steve Kerr maybe getting a job or not really. I ain't really have too big of an issue with it or whatever. I think a lot of people just didn't like it because of the fact that
Mark Jackson,
the
I
job
think.
he got.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I
You know
think
what I mean?
just thinking about it from like stepping out of it myself, I think that's my problem with it too. I think because he took Mark Jackson's job the way it happened, the way it went down. I think
Yeah.
that's what the problem was. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right about it. Steve
Like I
Kerr
said, the
did.
only person I really had pushback against is the Steve Nash thing because, like I said, Jerry Stackhouse, Sam Cassell, some of these other black coaches, whatever, should have got an opportunity before he ever got a chance to be a head coach, especially of a team that has championship aspirations like the Brooklyn Nets. What up? What up, KB?
What
KB
up?
was
What up?
You know what I'm saying? So, um, but yeah, we were just talking about the Darvin Ham hire or whatever. What you feel about that?
Man, I think it's a great hire. Yeah, I think that's the one that the coach that LeBron wanted. I think they said Magic was saying that he wanted that hire. I think it's great putting a black man in that position, and I also think it's good for culturally for a team like the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you got that black culture just understand. You know,
Uh-huh.
um, and I mean, I think it would be good, man. I think he did good when he was at Milwaukee. Clearly, they built something good over there, and they play well. So, I mean, I think it's a good hire. I'm glad they
Okay.
didn't reach for like no, like you were just saying, like a Steve Nash or just like a big name guy who
I
hasn't
definitely
had
didn't want
success
to see
in
no
20
Mike
years.
D'Antoni. I ain't want to see no Mike D'Antoni
Nah,
back.
Right.
that would have made no sense. You got an older team or whatever. You already got a hard enough time keeping AD on the court, and now you're trying to run them to death up and down the court. That wouldn't have made no sense. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I didn't like Terry Stott at all. He just the offensive version of Frank Vogel. So another coach with no backbone that would have ran out the locker room. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Especially until they figure out what they're gonna do with Russell Westbrook, or whatever. So I know I missed
And
Wednesday night, huh?
oh, no, I was gonna say, and the last time LeBron picked the coach, they won the championship, in
Yeah. Exactly that too. Like he kind of picked Frank Vogel or whatever. So like I said, I didn't dislike Frank Vogel. I just think that at the end of the day, um, like I said, the only thing with the Lakers organization, especially since Jenny done took over, is that they try to get these yes men coaches or these coaches that's like friend of the family type coaches that they can kind of like dictate how they move and whatever. So, because I think let's say if Tyronn Lue was there when he had an opportunity to go, I don't think he would allow if he wanted to sit Russell Westbrook, he would set Russell Westbrook. I don't think he would
Yeah.
allow them to dictate whether he sat him or didn't sit him. Because if you watch Tyronn Lue with the Clippers, he plays everybody. He plays you based on your production. He don't play you based on what's on the back of your shirt. Of course, he gonna play Paul George and Kawhi, but Paul George and Kawhi was always giving you numbers. But some of them
Hmm.
other role players or whatever, if they wasn't producing, especially when they got to the playoffs, they wasn't seeing no run out there. You know what I'm saying? If they wasn't playing, especially if they weren't playing defense or whatever, they wasn't out there. And I don't
Right.
think Russell Westbrook would have been combative with he. Of course, he would have tried to be combative with Tyronn Lue, but I think Tyronn Lue at the end of the day would have been like, "This is my team, bro. So you can come off the bench or you could not play at all. You know what I mean? Won't make me
Yeah.
no never mind." So and the only issue I have with like LeBron sometimes is that LeBron he wants to get along with everybody. So at some point when he's seen that it wasn't working with Russell Westbrook, at some point you got to pull the brother to the side and say, "Look, dog, we got to figure this out. This, we got to make some adjustments. We got to do something. But you can't just kind of ride on co-sign on everything he doing, no matter what, and then it's not helping the team. So,
I
um,
mean, but we never know what he says in the locker room. I think the good thing about LeBron with him being a leader is he understands um, he understands what the public perception is, not just the perception of like fans, but he understands when he speaks, especially in public, it's going to be taken, it's going to be spread, it's going to get traction. So him coming out and not, he doesn't need to come out and be in B. He doesn't need to come out and say, man, he sucked this year. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like you do that in the locker room, and you know what I'm saying. You have your stuff within the locker room, but when you out in public, you support your teammate. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Like headlines as fans, I think we would have wanted LeBron to come out and be like and challenge him publicly. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think that does more bad than good, especially in this part of what I'm saying, their career at this, I just
yeah, I
it's
see,
really
I
not
see.
going to do anything.
But anyway, what's up, brother?
What's up? What's up? What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? So today, man, y'all, like I was just telling these brothers earlier, when we first started the episode. This is two special reasons why this is a special show for me because one is our 40th episode
All right, all
or
right.
whatever. So we've been doing this almost 9 months now. Never missed a weekend, never missed a Sunday since I started it. And another reason why is because you were my first guest on my second episode. So my very first guest was you. So that meant a lot to me for somebody from my hometown that I grew up with.
Uh,
What gave me an opportunity, gave me a shot when I first started,
I
and
appreciate.
then and then third because when I put this thing together, I always wanted the people to know the community and the people out here, whether you coaches or athletes or parents, that we are here to support you. So I brought you back on here to show you, you know what I'm saying, not just to tell you that I support you. You know what I'm saying? I supported, when you would raise money, or I supported you whenever you had something, well, I'm posting it or whatever. So I definitely, of course, I've been reaching out to you, letting you know, asking, let me know when you're ready to come back home,
Mm-hmm.
especially, now that you done had another success story. So we're going to take a 30-second break, and then we're going to get right into this interview. This is 910 Sports. So here we back here on 910 Sports. And just to let y'all know, this is travel coach, AAU coach, national champion, like four-time national champ, 5-time state champ, uh, mentor, uh, father, God-fearing man. You know what I'm saying? You name it. He's just a good all-around guy, great integrity, known him since high school. You know what I'm saying? Always been a good guy. You know what I'm saying? This is my man, Jayson Jones. You know what I'm saying? So welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you, Ed, for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
So basically, my understanding, you won another state championship. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct. Yes, sir. We tend to we be on all different platforms. I don't limit my guys, man. On platform, man. We try to I put us in wherever it takes for my guys to get some good content.
Okay. So and for this championship, what stands out the most about this one versus the other ones that you won, the other titles and stuff? What stands out the most about this one?
This one was on the USBA platform, and what stood out was, man, I won tournaments with limited before, but our numbers were limited, and it was like almost like the deck was stacked against us to a certain degree, and we were coming off 2 weekends of bad basketball. We was on the big shot circuit and the phenom circuit, coming off 2 weekends of bad basketball, not losing record bad basketball, but not playing to the level of basketball that we're capable of. So we went to another platform to try to right the ship, so to speak. So more proud of this one because it took a team effort to get this championship. I mean, everybody had to contribute. It wasn't one person carrying their load or two people carrying the load. It was a all-out group effort to win that championship.
Okay. Before I keep going, Steve, you got a question?
Hey, Coach, how you doing? My name's Steve-O. Coach, now you say you want to championship in different forms. What do you mean by that exactly, Coach? When you say
All right,
that?
for those out there who don't know, right now, so many different platforms: travel basketball, showcase basketball, AAU, however they want to term it. But I want to set the record straight with one thing. It's a lot of publicity that go on out there, and they say AAU. But for the record, everything is not AAU. That's what I mean by platforms. Like right now, you've got shoe circuit platforms like EYBL, got the Adidas Gauntlet circuit, we call it the 3SB circuit. You've got Under Armour circuit. Then you got traditional AAU ball. Then you've got big shots. You've got phenom. You've got grassroots. It's a lot of different platforms out there. And so when I mean by platform, meaning different organizations, so to speak.
Okay. So, Coach, there's a new organization here in Atlanta that showcases high school kids around the world, younger kids around the world. Have you got familiar with that one? I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I know a lot of the hip hop stars bring their teams there. I know Quavo had a team. I can't think of the name of it.
Down in Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
I'm not really for sure off the top of my head what it is because there's so many guys, even NBA guys in our area, that's got a lot of organizations now. So it'd be hard to keep up with them until you.
I'm gonna get the name of it for you, Coach. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Go ahead. You a king can ask why I'm.
Okay, KB, you got a question?
Yeah, so I was wondering, and maybe what you just said is how it's set up, but when I see AAU, I see all different levels. Like my little brother, he played AAU, and it was just like travel ball. They traveled around the region. Then you have the AAU guys where you see like Bronny playing with the other
All right.
guys around the country, and then you see like Team Georgia, and they got the guys about to go to the league. Like, how is it? Is it like levels of AAU
Okay.
or?
That's what I was just telling you a while ago. Everything is not AAU. Like with Bronny and them, 9 times out of 10, that's on the shoe circuit. I mean, and it just depends, man. Shoe circuit teams are like sponsor teams, so they team may be loaded 1 through 10 with nothing but the best
Okay.
to every position. Traditional AAU team is not going to be what you say a sponsor team. They're going to work hard. They're going to fundraise. They're going to get it from the mud, but quit to compete and beat those type of teams. The difference is we do a lot of tourneys, man. You got to really earn your stripes to get in. I say it like that. We was on the a Big Shot Live event a month or so ago, always with your college coaches out there, and it's tiered off. We end up winning that event, and it's a live event. We won that, but it's broke down into so many divisions. You know what I mean? They might give you an invite and you consider you elite, even though your team may not be elite, but because your name or something like that, they feel you deserve that ranking, so to speak. You know what I mean? So when you see teams like Bronny them traveling from out that way, and uh who else? Maybe down in Atlanta Celtics or whoever, place guys like that may be on some of these circuit teams. It's a different. That ain't actually AAU basketball. That's a different venue.
Okay. Now, another question I have that I always wondered, a while ago, it was like years ago, when they did like the crackdown of the sponsorship, like the funnel, like kids playing for Team Adidas and going to like a Adidas college and all that stuff. Do you do you see that that's either been cleaned up, or is it like just another way of like moving around so you see the same thing still kind of happening?
Well, now, not to even sound crazy, with the acceptance of NIL, that kind of becomes null and void almost, because a player, whether he's on the Adidas Gauntlet circuit or Nike circuit, if a college want him and that player getting an NIL deal, it's kind of up in the air at that point. But as far as your shoe circuit team, you still got certain organizations that's on those circuits that want to sway a better player to that. But now, recruiting wise, it's really hard on high school players, because these coaches they live in the portal now. They live in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So the guys, the top 10, top 20 gonna get the looks regardless. Then after that, it kind of slows down and tend to wait a little bit, trying to see who in the portal. They want somebody already established or something. It's still got a lot tougher, I'll say, for some of the high school players that normally had been getting early letters and things like that. They're making them work a little harder for it. But to answer your question, it ain't as bad as it used to be. I say it like that. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's still out there. Don't get me wrong, but NIL deals now with these younger players kind of mask that, so to speak.
Okay. And I got one last question. How do you feel about the I guess like the reputation, right, of the AAU don't teach kids how to play ball. The AAU kids, you know what I'm saying, they just run
I'm glad.
around, play, and the effect of people, the AAU having an effect on their body. Like, you always hear, oh, they play AAU so much, that's why they get in the league and they have knee problems and ankle problems. Like, how do you feel about those, uh, what those things people say about that?
Great question, and I love to answer that question. I'm gonna I'm gonna do it in reverse first, though. Injuries are part of any sport. Period. Sanctioned events call for NCAA rules, which do not allow you to play more games in one day. So anytime a team, organization, or players at a tournament, oh man, they played 4 games, they did that. That's a non-NCAA sanctioned event. NCAA rules require that you can't even play past 9, 10 o'clock at night or something like that on the fine line. So that perspective, or is the wear and tear on the body, those typically are non-sanctioned events, or they're at a sanctioned event and someone's trying to go in the gray areas of the rule because a coach or somebody may not know the rule. And technically, you can protest those type of things if you feel you played too many games or something like that. But it comes to still your training, your conditioning, if your body's intact. I mean, you can wake up in the morning and tear something. That's just life cycle. You don't have to be playing sports to be injured, does it? Does it get wear and tear on your body? Absolutely, as with any sport. Football, tennis stop and go, soccer stop and go. So my thing with that, having been a former ball player who's had multiple rebuilds and things like that on my knees and Achilles, it can happen to anybody. It really can. So I would tell a parent out there, if they worried about their player getting injured in high school or down the line or something, then it may not be for their child at all. I mean, literally, because injury is gonna happen. You know what I mean? But I'm not blame. I wouldn't blame no AAU basketball on that at all. They could have the wrong technique lifting weights and tear their shoulder out of place.
Yeah.
And then to answer the other question, total misconception. I hate it for the coaches like myself who train kids from the bottom up and make sure they got fundamentals. Are there coaches out there that don't have a clue? Absolutely. Ton of them out there. I see a lot of them ain't got a clue out there. So for whatever reason, they're out there. Don't want to turn it over to somebody who knows what's going on and want to help the kids. My goal has always been next level prep, and that's from my kids in recreation and building them up till they're ready for high level basketball. The coach's job is to build that player for his next progression. When he in rec, your job is to build them up to make the middle school team. Middle school ball players, your job is to build them up, make them better high school players, equip them to be able to handle the rigors of a high school situation, transforming their bodies from going from not lifting weights to strength training so they can be ready for the high school level. And then once they're at the high school level, like now, I got an older group. We work out, we condition, we train, we do the fundamentals. That way, for my guys that are going to go to the next level, they are prepared for the grind of collegiate basketball. But yeah, it's total misconception because I know a lot of coaches that teach the fundamentals and train and build these players the correct way. Yeah, it's a misconception, and the problem with that comes with the wildfire that we call social media. Pre-social media, you might get something in the wind. Oh, this organization might have done that or whatever. Now social media links everything to AAU and on you instead of them doing their research. That fight could have been at somebody's invitational fundraiser, but they're gonna say AAU. This kid dribbled 100 times at somebody's memorial tournament. Oh, the AAU, man, that kid ain't passing the rock. It comes with not knowing the platform they own or what level of basketball they playing. But yeah, it's a ton of coaches that coach and do it the right way. Yeah, it's a handful that don't, and you do run into them, and they get the wheels beat off of them. I mean, I'm the kind of coach who I feel, say if you got a team and we playing your team and you ain't well prepared, I do not feel sorry for no team that's not prepared. Period. We work too hard in the gym to feel sorry for playing the show.
Real.
It don't happen.
Coach, it's called OTE. I did look it up. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I have. Overtime elite?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I had to look it up. I was like, I know, man, because they have some pretty high-profile kids. Now, I've never been to the event, but I didn't know. It sounds like it's kind of what you said, though. You have a loaded team versus a non-loaded.
Hey, if overtime with you, yeah, you definitely load. As a matter of fact, I think a kid from the 910 is down in Atlanta now. Showtime Trey with OTE, I believe. I know he was playing with Boo, but I think I seen overtime video on him a little bit ago. So y'all might have one of our 910s down there right now.
All right, I'm about to go check him out. What you say his name was, Coach?
Trey Parker, Showtime.
Okay.
Showtime.
Definitely worth the look. If you ain't seen this kid, pull up his Instagram and things like that. He ready for the NBA dunk contest right now. I say it like that. Man.
You said Coach, right?
Huh?
You said Trey Parker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram handle probably
Showtime, Trey.
Showtime.
Yeah, I see it right here.
So how many of your players have gone to the next level with college wise or whatever?
And I got a few, man. But first and foremost, my program, we based off being a student first, you know what I mean? So academic wise, I have a high placement for college. Got a ton of them in college. Just graduated a couple of them now that played. Tyree Allman just graduated from Winston-Salem State. He won a national championship at Sand Hills. I got one of my current players, Ian Blue, with Coca. I got another one of my small forwards gonna go to college at Texas State, I believe. Texas State, Texas Southern, one of the two. Who else? Current.
Well, let me ask you this. Because I'm always actually pleasantly surprised. But saying it for the two guys that on here for KB and Steve-O, Sand Hills program been around since how long? Basketball program.
Handful of years, man. Not a handful of years, and stay relevant at all times.
That's what I'm saying. And they've won maybe one or two national championships, right?
Got 2 national titles.
And that's considered what JUCO level, right?
Correct. JUCO.
So what do you feel like your program has a lot to do with it? Not to toot your own horn too much, I guess, but do you feel like your program it contributed a lot to the success for a program that's probably been around maybe less than 10 years to have that kind of success? Do you feel like you had a lot to do with that?
I say I had a little shake in it because I've sent him plenty of players out there where he got plenty of players from my program. His current roster currently has a nice high level shooting guard that came from my program. You know, other guards and players out that way. So you know, we've definitely contributed to him being able to maintain out there. Coach Apple's a good coach. Program's good. They recruit. They get good recruits out there, and players want to come to Sand Hills to start their career off. So yeah, it's definitely something good, you know, to have a in town team, so to speak.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna turn it back to Steve if he have a question after this. So all the success you've had personally, have any colleges or any other major programs ever reached out to you to come coach them at all?
I've had several conversations with numerous schools, man, whether it be high schools or entry level colleges looking to fill jobs. And as a matter of fact, I just had a meeting with one of our local high schools the other day. I'm gonna get on staff a little bit at our alma mater at Pinecrest, so I'll be on staff.
Congratulations.
Appreciate y'all be on staff at Pinecrest because you know, I've been funding a lot of high schools for a lot of years. I funded a lot of high schools and built a lot of these players. They our local areas, even some of the other counties. I do a lot of training with them, and they come from my program. So I've had some conversations. Sometimes the conversations be right up the alley, and then sometimes it's not. Got something I'm working on the back burner now that I can't talk about it, but let's just say if it pans out, it'd be colossal for our area here.
Okay.
You know, it'll be a situation where if it does work out, you may see the changing of the guard in our area as far as finally becoming close to one umbrella if this happens.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead, KB.
So I was just wondering, how does the recruiting process go as far as filling in your like your AAU? Is it you scouting and you going around to just the local kids, the local recs, being like, look, man, I want you, or do you have just like an open tryout and whoever comes type thing?
Well, I'm more traditional. I'm gonna always have a tryout. But when you come into a tryout, you got a core group that's coming back. You're looking to add to what leaves. During the basketball season, even summertime, you look to see who might be unhappy somewhere that'll fit your style, or you'll be in a high school gym or something. You looking, you might give a card out. Hey, I know you might be here. You ain't happy over there. Because I'm not big. I don't do no tampering. I'm not stealing a player. A player is somewhere. If you got a team, I respect what you got going on. I'm not coming to steal your players. That's just not gonna happen. So me, I'm more of a traditionalist. open trial form based. Our area, I'll just say it like this from the nice end. We have a plethora of organizations. So here, it's extremely hard to be elite out there like that. Like even my own group, I won't call us elite. I'll just say we're very competitive, and we beat elite organizations. We beat teams on a top tier circuit. You know, but our area is saturated. So with us, it's if I come to you, I'll be asking you, AK, who you play for? I don't play for nobody, coach. Great. I like what you got going on, seeing you in action. I got an open trial on this date, this date. You ain't doing nothing. You want to play high level ball and get better? I'm inviting you to a trial. I'm inviting you to a workout. You come in and you see. Um, in my case, when I do trials and workout, they like to say I'm a hard coach because I don't settle for mediocrity. So my turnover will be a case where if I got 40 kids trial and 10 make the cut, out of that 10, 3 gonna quit, and I'm gonna have to refill that spot because they were looking for something easy. I mean, they don't want to work for the extra of their game. You know, I don't tolerate that.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Okay, before we continue, we're gonna take a quick 30-second break. We're gonna ask a few more questions because I know this man got to get out of here.
Church
So, so we got a few more questions. So give me like 30 seconds here on 910 Sports. We'll be right back. Okay, we back. We back here on 910 Sports with my man, travel coach, AAU coach, just all around coach. You know what I'm saying, Jayson Jones. Steve, you can ask your question, and I'm gonna ask mine if you got any more questions, Steve.
No, I just wanted to coach, just real quick, man, coach. If a kid did want to get to you and get in touch with you, I know you said you'd be at some of the tournaments yourself, kind of talking to the kids. But do you have kids that can come to you? And if so, what's the best way to reach you? Is it through social media, or should they pull up on you?
They can reach me through social media, but then on the AAU platform, it's always a drop down in there that got our information, and
Okay.
it'll let them to email us direct. And then coach wise, kid wise, I'm a USA Gold certified coach. So they can also look me up on the USA platform like that as well. It'll pull up all my information. But on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those platforms, I do have my name out there. And it's all based on the money. I don't use my team name like that because someone had kind of got it one time for whatever reason. So I said, you know what? I stream everything under different little names, and everybody knows us. That's what I normally do.
Okay, cool, coach.
Okay, so real quick, I wanted to ask you before you got up out of here, man. So what has anything progressed or gotten better when it comes to community support and people kind of like? Because I know you be struggling sometimes to raise money for, because these guys don't know. When I had you on here, and it was shocking to me from all the success you had, that basically this brother got to basically dang near beg for money to get money. And the thing about what people don't realize with you is you cover a lot of air ground as far as the team basically is basically representative of a lot of a larger area. You know what I'm saying? And so, and for you to be having to be out here or using your own funds, you know what I'm saying? Out
Right.
of your own household, which I know sometimes that can be, taxing on you and your family. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have a good wife and a good support system for your wife to be like, yeah, baby, I understand, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just
And
tapping
you,
to the funds a little bit too much now.
you are 100% right, sir. That goes back to one of the questions y'all asked earlier. See, a shoe circuit team or a team like that, they sponsor. They ain't coming out of pocket for nothing. They have a sponsor. And we are still, as I call it, getting it out the mud. I just ordered raffle tickets on Thursday because we're getting ready to do our trip to the AAU World Games in Orlando, Florida at the ESPN Center, middle of July. So we prepping to raise money for that trip now. Community support that's still going. Hey man, we appreciate what you're doing. This year we had a couple little some donations come in, helped us get in a few tourneys, but as far as major sponsors in the community, nothing like that. I plan on this week, as it's good that you said that, because this week especially, I told my guys we're getting out back in the neighborhood, even though they know us, we're going to reintroduce ourselves back, and if we can't generate some sponsors, because these kids been holding it down for them on the high school team, middle school teams, and we still carrying the torch, you know. So community support, we're hoping that turnout will be big. So yeah, we got our annual $10,000 50-50 raffle starting, and hopefully we'll sell all those tickets and that'll pay for the trip, man. So what we normally do is give out 5,000 to the public, and the other 5,000 goes to us. Trip normally anywhere from $5 to $6 for that trip. So we said that puts us right in line with that.
So
But
when
yeah,
you when you go to these people, not to call out no names, when you go to these people and ask them about sponsoring the team, what be the rejection? What be that? So I guess you could say the nice way to reject y'all.
well, it's like me, man. I come at them from a variety of different ways. From being a former salesman, I got the former letters for you that break down the purpose of why we have the team in the area, help them stay out of trouble, help them maintain, explain to them, economic declines that stopped us from generating certain revenue. Most of the time, I've had it to where a person to say, "Nah, we can't do nothing right now. We don't know what's going on," even though I just explained. That's probably the weakest one. I don't know what's going on with that. Let me research that. We ain't never heard of it. Lady, we've been around 20 plus years. I heard about that before.
Yeah.
Or somebody might tell you, I'm affiliated with so and so. Okay, that's great. I know I can tell you a lot of stories about people not wanting to help you, but then I can give you a great story. Probably the best you ever had a lady on horses. We were doing a car wash, and some kind of way we got on the topic. We were doing a car wash, and she asked me some odd questions for a non Christ walker would have probably brushed her off, but my walk with faith, I knew where she was trying to get it. So we had a nice, tactful conversation, nothing out of bounds, reiterated what the program was about, introduced her to some players who was raising money for jerseys at the time. And this young lady was like, well, I want to give you an anonymous sponsorship for these jerseys. And she's like, well, how much do jerseys cost? At the time, the jerseys are like $1,300 or $1,000, whatever it was. She's like, well, if you want to, you can close the car wash today. I'm going to go ahead and buy them jerseys. That's the best situation we've ever been in. Literally. And that was just me simply taking those 30 minutes. We talked about God, talked about the good book, and she wanted a full breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And she wrote us a check, and we kept it moving. Yes, sir.
Okay.
But that's just one success story out of 1,000 rejections, though,
Yeah. So do you think, not to get too deep in that part, but do you think that your race being a black coach in the community, does you think that has a factor in people rejecting you? Like if you was a white coach, basically, just to keep it blunt, that you might have more support?
Man, I try not even to touch on the race thing so much, man. I don't say, in my case, I wouldn't say it's so much a race as that I like to say, me as a coach, I'm the hated and love at the same time. I'm not nobody's behind to be accepted. I'm not gonna be political to be accepted. I'm gonna be me every day. I'm down the pipe. My thing is, you want to help a youth can be better, and you like that youth, you ain't gotta like me at all. But if you want to see this keep transforming from a boy to a man, doing it the right way, then you help that cause. But that's the thing. I tell my kids all the time, we'll go somewhere, I'll be like, hey, they're not rock with me. Or I'll be to cut one of their cousins, or I might have cut their son, and then down the line they understood. Then we play them on a team. Their son didn't get no better. Then they'll be like, wow, yeah, you're right the whole time. I run into a lot of situations like that. I wouldn't say it's race, man, or I'll just say my body, a hard coach, so to speak, and no nonsense. Sometimes play a factor case like that. But you do have ones who they definitely ain't gonna fool with you because of that.
Yeah.
That's the given. Look right through you. No, sir. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Have a good day.
All right, fellas. Y'all got any other questions before I let this man go?
Nah, man. I just definitely going to be tuned in, man, and trying to support and all that. I like good quality basketball. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, I was one of the people that'd be like, "Oh, AAU, nah." But knowing that, having that, just that little bit of insight, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get it, and I like the traditional."
That's what I want you to do moving forward. Anytime you with somebody and they screaming AAU, y'all pull up whatever video clip it is and find that tournament, and then you'll be like, that's not even an AAU tournament, but they trying to blame it on AAU. Find out who, what platform they're playing on, and you'll start cleaning up a lot of the bad publicity.
Definitely will. Do my part.
Yeah, Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. I really do.
Yeah, man. Because like I said, man, yeah, and I'm employing, because what I'm saying, like we've gotten a little bit bigger since last year, so I'm really gonna start deploy this out there and put this out there to the community and everybody around. Is that if you want to keep these kids off these streets, if you want to keep these kids off these drugs, if you want to keep these kids out of jail, this man is building up a program, and like he said, he can't speak too much on it. But I'm gonna have him as soon as he can speak on it, even if it just come on here for a few minutes to the breaking news, to say this is what we got going on, to make this a big, whatever he got going on, big on that umbrella. You know what I'm saying? For him to be able to get the support he need for your kids. See, this is the thing that people don't understand. This is their kids. This
Correct.
is not just about. This is not like you got 12 kids like you Joe Jackson. No, this is their kids that you're out here supporting, that you're out here teaching, and not just basketball. I know you teaching life lessons. You're building young men up, young boys up to be men and to be able to hold their own in life. And we don't have enough of you around to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying, nowadays. And we see how things with these mass shootings and these guys, even these athletes and rappers and stuff dying from drug overdose and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We see it's happened at a rapid rate, like faster than we can even keep up with it. And you're one of the people that's actually supporting the community in a major way. So please, everybody, please do whatever you can to support these what he got going on. There's too many big businesses in the Moore County area and surrounding areas that could throw you $1,000, can throw you $500. They make enough money. Hell, it's a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else.
I got a tax ID for man.
Exactly. So
put this out here too. Something that you guys, your coworkers might not have knew, but I know I've told you before. Another misconception that a lot of people turn face up with organizations and AAU guys, so to speak. We are non-paid. I just want to put that out there. We do this out the kindness of our own heart, our own free will, my own gas money. I get out from the trenches and go open these gyms up. A non-paid blue-collar worker for these kids. I just want to put that out first and foremost. We are non-paid.
And that's another thing. So this man is volunteering in your neighborhoods, in your communities, to teach your kids how to play ball, and like I said, give them life lessons, mentoring your kids. You don't think about, if nothing else, you know what I'm saying, we should have a video put up just for, and if you ever get just to have some of your parents and do a testimonial. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna build a website. I'm building a website now, And if you ever get a chance and get a 5-minute little thing, a testimonial on how you changed a kid's life, and send that to me, and I'll put that thing up every week. You know what I'm saying? Just to show what it is, like what you do, how you took that one kid from probably being suspended from school or one step away from going to jail to being able to be on your program and probably going to college or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know you have stories like that.
I do. And you got to think, man, I got kids that just graduated from Appalachian State. My own son comes to the program, just graduated from North Carolina State. I mean, I've got kids from D1, high major, all the way down to HBCU. We place you in college because we got student versus that first, all the way down to St. Andrew College in Lombard, ball players there. Pembroke. We got ball players everywhere that came through the program. In the military. So we worry about that after round ball situation. Most definitely. So I'll definitely send you some testimonials.
Okay, all right, that's what's up, man. So I appreciate you. One last time, just tell everybody where they can find you if they want to get a tryout or if they want to follow the team in general.
In general, you can follow me on Twitter at Jayson Jones W. Okay. Twitter is Jayson Jones 6. So JYSON JONES 6 on Twitter. Instagram is 96 Air Jordan. Old traditional email gonna be Jayson Jones W at AOL. I got other ones, but that's my main one. So it'll be JYSON JONESW at AOL, and then they can find us on Facebook, Jayson Jones. You'll see me and the guy's pictures of JYSON, last name Jones.
And for the lazy people, what's the name of the team?
Sand Hill Cyclones.
Sand Hill Cyclones. Okay, brother. You have a good day, a blessed weekend, and don't eat too much barbecue. Because I know out there, I know when you out there in the country.
You know, I got to come up off some of this good food, boy.
Yeah, I know y'all probably. I'm surprised y'all ain't having no family reunion or something out there. I know how y'all get down out there in Eastwood and all that out there.
How we look, my daughter getting baptized this morning, so it's definitely going down today.
Oh yeah, I know it is. All right, well, congratulations on that, brother. You have a good day.
Hey, y'all be blessed, fellas. Have a good
You too.
You too, Coach.
Yeah, so that was Coach Jayson Jones, man. Like I said, he a real good guy, man. I done known that guy since high school. And he he always been that same happy, jovial person guy you see, straightforward, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So ain't no BS with him, ain't no half stepping with him. That's what you see is what you get every day of the week with him.
Nice. I'm following him now.
Huh?
So I started following him right now.
Yeah, so yeah. So like I said, he was one of the first people when I first started the podcast. I reached out to him because I knew what he was doing in the community, and he gave me a quick yes. It wasn't no shucking and jiving with me about coming on. So, and a lot of times you know how that is when you first starting something. Everybody looking at you, well, I see. Let me think about it, and then once they see you get some success, then they want to jump on. But he wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so y'all know how that go. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all get a lot of y'all yeses, but y'all get some of them. Well, I don't know yet.
Quiet no's.
Them quiet, yeah. Them nice no's. That's why I told him. I said, "Why you?" I said, "How?" What? That's why I asked him. I'm like, "What's your nice nose sound like?" You know what I'm saying? Because I already
quiet.
And the thing about this, what y'all don't know is, see, the city we come from, the community we come from, is a golf community. So I'm pretty sure y'all heard of Pinehurst, North Carolina. So Pinehurst, North Carolina, basically, they do the U.S. Open there every 4 years. Now, the U.S. Open in golf. So basically, just to put it out there, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Tiger Woods, all these players play at this golf course during their off time. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So Michael Jordan religiously plays there all the time or whatever. I actually met Michael Jordan out there myself personally. My dad personally used to be a caddy at this golf course. My uncle was a caddy out there for 50 years since he was back in the day when you could work when you was 2. You know what I'm saying? So my uncle used to work there, started working there, was probably like 8, 9 years old or something crazy, and worked there to the day he died. You know what I'm saying? Till he was like 70. He was a caddy. So he's seen all kind of people come through there, concluding the Michael Jordans and Cordell Stewart. He's came there, played golf, all kind of people. So this is a rich community, a lot of money floating around in this community. So for him not to have more support than what he has is ridiculous. And he doesn't cover just one county. He covers that county, Rockingham County, and I think maybe Lee, but I know it's like 2 or 3 different counties. And Richmond County is one of those counties that like they have great programs in basketball and football. Terrell McIntyre, he came out of there after he played for Clemson, and some other people came out of those communities. So it's a lot of athletes and a lot of like businesses around that could help. And where I'm from, when I grew up, it was a population of 6,000. But as a kid, it's probably 20,000 now. So that lets you know how it done doubled, tripled in people, what I'm saying, over the last 25 years. So that lets you know, even though still is considered a small area, it has grown tremendously over the last 20 years. But there's no reason, I'm talking about from restaurants to real estate to everything. Like they got Jewish people coming in and buying up real estate now, left and right in the community, just like everywhere else. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse not to be bigger than what it is. That's why I get frustrated every time I hear him talk about what he has to go through, what I'm saying, to get money for his team. And you got these other circuits who has major people behind them, and what I'm saying, or whatever. And it should be some kind, to me, I feel like it should be something there where if you saw part of these organizations, that it should be a kitty or something put aside, something there, what I'm saying, or whatever. I don't know how to fix it. Y'all may know better than I do, but it should be some kind of budget, something for it, so it'd be even playing field somehow. Maybe I mean, I don't know. Maybe get a sponsorship for the entire program and not just per team. You know what I'm saying? Ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna come right back and take another 30-second break. We'll be right back and get in some more of these sports conversations here on 910 Sports. Okay.
You muted.
We can't hear you, Icon.
Icon, you muted.
My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. So I wasn't on the other night because I was flying out or whatever on the Wednesday night show. But real quick, man, y'all was talking about the Kyrie Irving. I heard him talking about the Kyrie Irving situation. I seen a little bit myself, and they were saying that the Nets kind of, I don't know how true it is, refusing him to give him a 5-year deal, or whatever. And I was like, I mean, I don't know what he expect after all of this that he put the Nets through. I don't know why he would expect a 5-year deal. And this is what I kind of say all the time. And I could probably get more pushback from Crystal than anybody about this. Is that basically it's like, I always tell people this all the time. Billionaires and people with a lot of money do not like being played with. You know what I'm saying? They don't like being told no. They don't like being getting pushed back on. And see, and it's funny, and I hate to use this analogy, but I'm gonna tell you this real quick story, real quick, before y'all try and jump in. I worked with this white lady, and I used to deliver medicine, right? And it was this one driver who didn't never want to. He just could not get to work on time. He could not get his stuff out. He would always be running late, getting all his stuff done. and they wanted to replace the guy, but they would go around asking other drivers if they wanted his route and all this other stuff and whatever the case may be, but they wouldn't just fire him right out. They just was kind of like, okay, we're gonna keep him on, whatever. And then they eventually, found somebody to take the stuff, take his route, and they let him go. And I told the lady, and I said, now black people, we in charge. If we get mad with you and you ain't doing your job, we'll just fire you, and then we'd make everybody else pick up your slack, and you know what I'm saying, and put everybody else in a predicament where as instead of being patient. And then she looked at me
Yeah.
like, for real? Like she kind of looked at me like she did, like she almost like, what? And I was like, yeah. I said, that's the difference between y'all and us. I said, when we in charge, we just so much like the power, we just like firing people. We don't think about the long-term effect of it or nothing. We just, oh, you ain't doing right, I'm gonna fire you. I've seen when I used to work for Zaxby's and I had was a black-owned Zaxby's. I seen the guy come in, the guy who did one thing wrong, he just fired him right on the spot or sent them home for the day right there on the spot. And I said, that's how billionaires sometimes operate. They're not going to necessarily, what they call it, cut. What do you say? Cut your face, but spite your hand, or
Cut your
spite,
hands and cut your nose and spite your
spite
face.
your face. Yeah. So they're not going to necessarily do that. They're gonna basically they're gonna play the long term game, and I feel like that's what the Nets did with Kyrie Irving. We need you right now, so we're gonna use you up until until the last second, and then we're gonna kind of like get back what you owe us, and that's basically we're not gonna give you what you want. We gonna control this narrative. So what do y'all feel about the whole thing?
I mean, it's sports is a very understood use. Like, yo, I got money. I can't play the game, so I'm playing real life video game right now. You only as good as me as much as you produce money for me. Like, at the end of the day, I look
Mm-hmm.
at it as, I mean, people may not want to, you know, take it like that and, feel the disrespect from them. But at the end of the day, you only as good as me as much as you filling these seats, people spending this money. If they not, then you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, you have purists who just love the sport, and people like uh, what's my man, Mark Cuban, who's all involved, and but the rest of them, majority, man, they sit in a box. They come to watch their investments,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's just as clean as it is.
Yeah.
But remember what we talked about though, is it worth it? Remember I asked y'all would it be worth it in the chat, and we were talking about KD, the domino effect with KD, because KD said that if Kyrie is not returning, he may not return. So would you take that risk of losing KD? And Crystal was like, no, you can't lose KD. But now you are running into that risk where KD now may come out and ask to be traded.
Didn't he just sign a 4-year deal though?
You know that don't matter in the NBA. James
Yeah.
Harden signed the deal the summer before, and then came out and told Houston, "I want to go to the Nets and make it happen," and they did. So none of that even matters in there. This ain't the NFL. The NFL, you sign a contract like that, yeah, you locked in. But NBA, yeah, you know how to boy,
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I just think that like at the end of the day, like I get it. Like if I was him, I would go to them and maybe do a 1+1 or 2 year 2+1 deal. But I wouldn't give him no flat out 5-year deal because it just gonna put too much power back in Kyrie Irving's hand, and
I
then
was just gonna say that if you Kyrie, are you going to sign one of those deals where you know you can go to a team that ain't got nobody and get that power and get that ability to sit out when you can get that Kawhi treatment, like Kawhi going to the Clippers. Then Kyrie go to Sacramento. You don't think they're gonna get him whatever he want, let him play whenever he want? Like they never have a player of that caliber in Sacramento in the modern era. So I'm just saying, if you have a chance to sell tickets for a franchise that has not sold tickets, if I'm Sacramento, yeah, Kyrie, I give you 5 years. You can play 42 games. Just play
but
them
see
out.
the crazy part about it, but I don't think with Kyrie Irving, I don't think it's necessarily about the money. I think it's about where he's going to be happy at. I think his happiness is a big part of it. And if you send him on the other side of the country, and everybody know he's very family oriented, the whole reason why he picked Brooklyn is because so he could be closer to his family or whatever and
You gotta
friends.
go to New York then. You gotta go to the Knicks.
Yeah,
Then.
so it's like if you send him somewhere on the other side, let's say you send him to Utah or somewhere, or Sacramento or somewhere that wouldn't mind, just go ahead and give him the money. Would he be happy in those places? He gonna give you the same pushback. So I think it's more about a personal happiness for him than
Well,
it
he's
is
a
about
free
money.
agent, so he can go where he wants. He's a free agent. He can go
That's what
wherever.
I'm saying. So
But I think he'll pick New York, and I think the Knicks will oblige at this point.
and then you never know what he really thinking, because when he was in Boston, right before he dipped, he was like, "Oh no, I'm coming back. I'm about to sign the deal. Y'all got me for whatever, whatever." And the next thing you know, it was all this thing that he wanting to get up out of there. You know what I mean? Now I get it when leaving Boston, because Boston ain't the most friendliest place to be at. You know what
Nah.
I'm saying, or whatever. So I get it, but at the same time, he put it out there like he wanted to be there. So, you're not happy in Cleveland, you're not be happy in Boston, you know what I'm saying? And then you get to Brooklyn and you got issues, and you hand pick Brooklyn. Like it's like he hand picked to go to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what else can what else can you do? It's almost like with James Harden. James Harden went from Oklahoma City to Houston, basically pushed his way out of Houston to get to Brooklyn, and then it was like, oh, I'm not happy here, so I want to go back with my guy and D'Antoni, and I mean not D'Antoni, what's my man name, the GM, or whatever, Maury, to get over to Philly, and you still ain't. I don't know if it's a happiness thing, or you just, or we just watching him just deteriorate in front of our eyes on a basketball level. No, he said the other day that basically he been trying to rest for the last 2 years to get his body right, which that's the most ridiculous comment I ever heard in life. Like, what? You've been resting for 2 years? What you call it? You know what I'm saying? So,
that one.
yeah, I don't even know how to take that answer. I was like, what? Like, what kind of beat? I like, if I was Joe and beat, I said, first time I see your person, I'll punch you dead in the face. Nigga, what? What you talking about?
Kyrie and KD too, because I mean you came over here resting. You ain't talking
Yeah,
about you resting.
exactly. Well, like, you need to get Chris Rock slapped for that one. You know what I'm
But they
saying?
still paying these guys all this money to like come, man. That's what I'm saying. You paying he's going to get $40 million from somebody.
I don't see why. And I and,
Him
and that's
and
another
him
thing I
and
don't see why.
Kyrie, man. They're gonna get 40 plus mil from
Kyrie
some
I would see Kyrie more than Harden because Kyrie still got upside. When Kyrie would come in, he produced what I'm saying, the majority of the
Philadelphia
time.
already agreed to pay Harden that max deal.
Harden don't produce nothing.
He didn't turn in the paperwork to get the player option. So technically he's a free agent, but they've already had like a gentleman's agreement when they made the trade that he was gonna sign that big extension in Philadelphia. So then you
And
gonna renege on that? If
yeah, I
you
can see
feel me?
him doing that. This guy, man, this guy don't care about nobody. He's shown multiple times that he ain't the team player. He gonna do what he want to do for him. Which I mean, you can't fault the man for doing that. But also, you burning bridges everywhere you go.
You think he'll be the call that shot of the front office? Because the front office they support him. Ain't that the dude from Houston that's up there now?
Who,
In
Daryl
Philadelphia?
Morey?
Yeah, he in Philadelphia now, right?
Yeah, that's the one that brought. That's how basically James Harden got over there or whatever because of that. Now I'm gonna ask y'all that real quick. Speaking on that, what did y'all see? What was that y'all put up about Ben Simmons last night? So was that a
Oh,
true? Was that real?
I
It's
don't think
it.
so.
He ain't seen that. What?
It was hold on, let me read it. Hold on.
He
It
was talking
said
about. He was talking about Zion Williamson.
it
Oh, I
said
see. Oh, yeah.
he said y'all call me lazy, but I didn't play. He said y'all call me lazy because I didn't want to play, but praise Zion biscuit eating that.
So
Damn.
I was like, is that real or y'all feel like
No,
that's a
that's probably
troll?
fake. I
Yeah,
just shared it. It was
yeah.
funny.
Ben ain't gonna come out and take that kind of shot. I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah.
Ben.
I'm going to say, I was like, y'all know Ben ain't talking like.
Nah.
I mean, but when you look at it, so say Harden, like you have a Ben Simmons who set out, he's told you like, yo, I got the mental health stuff. I also got the back thing, but everybody knows like the mental health stuff. That's been his claim. Would you rather have that and work with that, or would you take Harden's? I mean, I've been trying to get better for the last 2 years, so I ain't really been playing. Or would you take that answer?
Oh man, that's a tough one right there. Wow. I mean that because the thing about James Harden is kind of like a Kyrie Irving. He kind of always kind of proven that he's kind of selfish. And then I just think that at this point, like being in fact, he's been the man for the last 6-7 years on his team. I don't think you can't, he's not a number one anymore. You know what I'm saying? If he ever really truly was, because
No, but he had Chris Paul in Houston. He always had like a decent number two in Houston.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, and then I don't think he's a number one anymore. Whatever, like you said, he's always had, he had Chris Paul, he had who else he had?
He had somebody else before that, and I can't really think of who it was, but yeah.
But yeah, so he's always had it. Cause I want to say Paul George, but Paul George was Paul George with him, or he was with Chris Paul. Paul George
was he went to OKC. He went to OKC
yeah,
first.
Paul George was with him. Paul George was with him for a year. So yeah, so he had Paul George. I mean, he's had a couple of number twos with him or whatever, and it just never just panned out for a championship run. So I don't think, like, at this point in his career, he's what, 33, 32, 33, and he's not like a LeBron 33. You know what I mean? He's not even a Steph Curry 33. He's like a Larry Bird 33 or Magic 33. You know what I'm saying?
I think James Harden is. I think at the time we are now, when you look at the LeBrons and how he did, and you look up guys like Kawhi and guys like Chris Paul, that we kind of get spoiled with Father Time. You know what I'm saying? They're finding a way to keep that clock going slow. James Harden, I think, is just what it's always been for guys when they hit their mid-30s that don't take care of their body the way they probably should have. You just seeing what typically happens. When all you always heard athletes, you be like, yeah, man, when they get 30, 31, that's usually it. He's just that guy. Like he'll go down as a guy that when he turned 31, 32, his game started to fall off and he left the league. And not all players make it to that 37, 38 and still
Exactly.
produce. He just another.
I mean, think about
the
Dwayne
average
Wade.
player.
Dwayne Wade didn't.
Right.
Started falling apart like about that time, about 32, 33.
He went down quick. He like Dwayne Wade was flash one season, and next season he was a jump shooter, a spot up shooter, like for real.
Yeah, he went from flash to snail.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. So it just like and then and it's funny when they talk about Luka and not being in shape, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm looking at something different because Luka don't look like that. He in that bad of shape like y'all make it out.
Yeah, but he 19, 20 icon. He does look bad, but he bad built for a 19-year-old.
He's got a dad body.
He like 22, 23. He no 19.
Right. Luka ain't no 19.
You sure?
But he just
like 22, 23.
Hold on. Let me look at age of because I don't even think
like 23 now, I think.
Luka don't he don't got the body type of a professional athlete. Like when you look at him, the same one like Jokic. Like when you look at them, there's no muscle tone, there's no definition, got a little jelly shaking under the jersey, but
they grown.
But none of them international players ever. What international player that look like he's supposed to be playing basketball? Don't look like they supposed to be playing basketball.
Giannis. I'm about to say Giannis.
He's an anomaly. He's an anomaly. I'm talking about
Giannis and his brothers. If Giannis and his brothers would work out with Jokic and Luka, they'd probably be looking different.
Yeah,
they transformed. They transformed when they came in the league. They look like the rest of them boys, skinny.
That's why I compare Luka to like a Paul Pierce, man, because he got that lazy type look. Like it's efficient, but it look like he don't really be trying. Just be like move, move. Like you know what I'm saying?
He got that Boris Diaw body.
But he can shoot that thing.
Yeah. And so what y'all think after what y'all see? What do y'all think? Because I think they need to trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Maybe get something from him. I would even do Uh, uh, I just don't see giving Jalen Brunson a 6'1" dude all that money because I don't think that's what's going. Like I heard Charles Barkley say this, and he was like, "Yeah, you could give Jalen Brunson the money off of the way he played, but is it really gonna put you in a contention? Like, is it really gonna give you a?
Nah,
Is Jalen Brunson gonna be the player that can help you compete against,
go
you know,
get Rudy. Go get
certain
Rudy. Man.
teams?
Go get Rudy Gobert.
Like let's just say the Clippers can,
Yeah.
if Kawhi and Paul George could stay somewhat healthy, they gonna be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Certain other Golden State still gonna be right there. Certain teams that's still gonna be that's coming next year. Denver, if they stay healthy, it's just
Ja
I just
Morant,
don't see
Memphis.
Dallas and then I don't see Tim Hardaway being your best number two. So I think they should trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Maybe do a sign and trade with Jalen Brunson to try to get better. Is that what y'all saying?
I mean, I think, like you said, I think they need a legit number two to come in and kind of take that slack. Like Luka needs help. Like it's more of a firepower thing than necessarily anything else. I think it's one of those things like you just ain't got enough. Like you need one more gun with you, and then
Mm-hmm.
y'all will do work. But I mean, like let's see, they got
But how
like
is
Zach Levine.
it
But
easy
you
to
look at a team like
like
Zach Levine. He's a free agent. I don't know if you want DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if he can come back there and do something. But then you got him. You got Kyrie could potentially go. I think you can get another guy to give you, you know, 15
Bradley Bill
points.
is kind of still out there because I think
Yeah,
Bradley
Bradley
he said he
Bill
Bill.
gonna
Like,
resign. He said he resigned with Washington.
for 250 million. I resign. Okay, I just resign
Yeah,
for the Houston Rockets
but
right now for
yeah,
250
they
million.
need they need like a constant guy, and not necessarily. I don't know if you need a big man per se. It would be nice to have a dominant big man, but if
Mm-hmm.
they can get a
I think
guy
too, man. I
that
think he need that big man. I think you get somebody to get the ball out of his hand because it's not helping his game. He needs somebody to clean up offensive boards when he missed. Somebody to get him another shot. Somebody who can help his sorry defense. He playing defense because
I
he
mean,
gonna
that's
let you.
Rudy Gobert. That's barely Rudy
That's
Gobert.
what I said because he gonna let you blow by him. You're gonna blow by Luka. His foot speed is horrible on defense. His lateral movement on defense, it ain't good. So you gonna
well,
get
that's
him.
why
You
do
need
you
somebody
get
there to
a
clean up that rim.
do you get a DeAndre Ayton type guy to
I'd rather have
where
Rudy. I'd rather have Rudy than me personally.
I mean, but
I'd
you got
rather
to
have
trade for
Rudy
Rudy,
too,
right?
but I think if they can get if they match because all they got to really do is throw DeAndre Ayton offer and then make if nothing else you make Phoenix have to pay them to put them in that they payroll jack
They
like
already said they weren't gonna do that though. I think they said they was only a certain amount they offering. They not going up. So
okay so let's just say Dallas come in and then they give him the max whatever they can give him then basically, yeah, if you can steal them, then steal them. If you can steal them from Phoenix, then steal them from Phoenix in that way. You're not really stealing them, but if you offer him that money, that for whatever he asking for, just to give you at least a bona fide, I ain't gonna say a true number two, but you give yourself a little bit more of a better player in that regard. Maybe do that. You know what I'm saying?
cause he
So
gonna make your team better. I think Rudy makes the team better. He's an all defensive world player. He's
yeah,
defensive
But
player
but don't you
candidate.
got to Isn't he doesn't don't they got to trade for him?
Rudy,
who?
yeah, you have to trade for Rudy. But you
That's what
like
I'm
I
saying.
got Tim Hardaway sitting there. You probably got some
Yeah.
draft capital you have to give up.
But do you want to? That's the thing. Like, have we seen the success of? And I like I say, I'm not an NBA statistician. The success of the trading multiple picks players for one or two guys, has that actually equated success versus a team like Golden State who just builds their guys through the draft
I
and
agree
maybe
with
one
you. So
free
you saying
agency?
keep trying to draft people because you
I
can do it like
mean,
Atlanta did. You can draft them, but then you run into a problem like Atlanta where you get okay. So we right there, we got close, but now do we re-sign these guys and bring them back, or do we go and spend some money and try to upgrade? Because that's the problem that you run into with draft. I'm not saying going through the draft is a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a crapshoot. It's gambling.
it is, but also so is also trading your future. Like you see, like that's the issue with the LeBron teams. They usually don't have a first. I don't think LeBron's ever played with a first round pick in his career. Like I don't think the team he was on has ever drafted in the first like a lottery pick or a first round pick because they're usually trading those picks for a player
Yeah.
and it never. I mean, you may have immediate success because of the quality of the guys you have, like him and D Wade type thing, or the bubble team. But realistically, you getting beat by a team like Golden State, who they
But that's
actually,
an anomaly though, Ken. That happened like 2 years out
or
of
is
season.
that just
LeBron won
quality team
the
building?
conference
Like you,
finals 16 years in a row.
I mean, now you might not have the success of a championship as a championship, but I'm talking about the caliber of player. Like when you look at the scouting and not just being like, oh, look at the numbers he put up in college, and oh, he's a great athlete. But you look and be like, yo, who is a knockdown shooter? Like you find the Clay Thompson later in the round. Who's that dog? Who's that Rodman type?
Yeah,
Let me get
Ray was the
Draymond in
second round
the
pick. I agree.
yeah, so I think it goes to scouting and not just picking up who the best player on the court, who can dribble, dunk type thing. It's just who fits your system, who fits your scheme. What do you need a shooter? Who's the best shooter out of here? They may not be a top 10 pick. It may be a later round pick, and you just trade back and do those things to where maybe you do trade, the guy I forgot you were saying the guy you can trade to get Rudy Gobert. Maybe you trade him for a pick
Tim
and
Hardaway Jr.
yeah, Tim
Well,
Hardaway
see,
Jr.
the question is will Luca have the same type of patience as like a Dirk,
Yeah,
where he would basically just ride or die like a Giannis. Some of these foreign, like especially these foreign players, they'll get with a team like Giannis and Dirk, and just because they so happy just to be playing in the NBA, they gonna be super loyal. You know what I'm
Luka
saying?
just signed a contract, didn't it?
Huh?
Didn't Luka just sign a contract?
I mean, yeah, but like on the next go round, is he gonna be, or even like you said,
that don't
people
matter,
said,
man.
if he
James
gets
But
Harden a
disgruntled late next
contract.
year, he might be disgruntled by that in the next
Yeah,
year.
I
And
mean, but I think that's when you give him that NBA all-star that thing. You bring him in a room with your GM and your ownership and the brass, and they be like, "Look, man, we want to build this team to help you win. What do you think? What would you like to see? Do you want to bring another shooter? Do you want a big man? Do you want a point a point that handles the block? Do you want to score? Like, how do you want to
so
help
you
build this
saying to
team?"
do it now or do it when he get disgruntled?
I'm talking about do it now
Oh, okay.
because now if you do it now, that if he becomes disgruntled, well, you help build this team. We went
he
off
gonna
of
be like
your
LeBron.
opinion.
Let him bring in Westbrook, and then they say, "Well, you did this."
Yeah, like it's one of those things.
Instead
Like,
of saying,
look,
"Look,
man,
it's
this
not
this what you
me," I
wanted.
don't know if I like that, bro. I don't know. I
Now,
rather
not
let
necessarily.
him
Not you don't have to necessarily get the guy. It may not be a particular guy, but like he should have major input. Like, if he's the franchise guy, he should have input on the the outlook of the team. You might not go for the exact player, but give who do you want? Do you want to play with a LeBron type that's like you that handles the rock off the ball, big point? Or do you want a Kyrie who's going to score 25, 30 as a point guard? Or do you want a Rudy Gobert who's just going to lock down the paint? Do you want a hustle guy? Like, and then we can find that type of player in the league to make that move. So when a move is made, you have the support of your franchise guy and you're still getting a quality player, but it's just everybody's on that unison and it takes away from being disgruntled initially. Now, by the end of it, 4 or 5 years from now, who knows? But at least, you know what I'm saying, you have that chance to right the ship.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna take a quick 30-second break. We're gonna come back, about ready to wrap this thing up. We're gonna talk about this last game tonight, and then we're gonna wrap things up. So we'll be right back here in 30 seconds on 910 Sports. Okay, we back. We back here on 910 Sports, and so we get into this last conversation of so this is the reason why I said that when we've had discussions and people already want to put Jason Tatum in the top 5 and whatever stuff like that, and I said, well, thing about what Jason Tatum is, he's close, but one game this series where he basically was, I ain't gonna say a no show, but he only had maybe 10, 12 points or whatever in one of the games, and I said, and I think I was telling Steve O this last week. I said, think about when I used to watch Michael Jordan back in the day, or even if you watch LeBron play, or you watch some of your greats, Giannis or whatever. They could have a bad 3 quarters, but for somehow, some way, by the end of the game, they end up with 25, 30 points. And you'd be like, where did the extra 15 come when you were struggling to get 10 in the first 3? And I said, Jason Tatum, the reason why I can't put him in top 5 yet is because in the game where Jimmy Butler went out, and then last game, those are type of games when you top 5, you have to figure out a way to take over those type of games. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go from being just a great player to being super elite, to be put in the same conversations as, a Giannis or a KD or a Bron or whoever, then those are the type of games you have to put your foot on their neck and take over those games. And the problem I see with Jason Tatum is sometimes Jason Tatum act like he's Steph Curry. Sometimes he fall in love with Dame Lillard. He fall in love too much with the 3-point shot, and he has a real good mid range game. His mid range game is getting to the point where it's almost getting close. He keep working on it. He could probably be a DeMar DeRozan or Kawhi Leonard type mid range type player. He even got moves with his like Kawhi, just more like he just come down and he pull up from the mid range. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum give you a little turnaround and all kind of stuff and fade.
Like
a real 3-level scorer.
Exactly, because he kind of like, because I know he was kind of trained a little bit with Kobe, and Kobe developed that mid range game like that. So what are y'all seeing from this series, and what do y'all feel like is going to happen tonight in Game 7?
Well, first of all, let me just start off by acknowledging Icon's ability to give a Duke player a little credit. He wouldn't do too much. You see, he wouldn't go a whole lot out there. Now he got about as far as he gonna go. But saying he was right. Kawhi Leonard, I had to push him to Kobe and Jordan. He wouldn't even say Jordan's name when he was starting talking about the turnaround and the fade with Jason Tatum. He just went Kobe and stopped. See, it's all good though. I knew that was hard enough for him to get out this Sunday morning. So I ain't gonna too much.
You about right. You about right. He about to get as much love he gonna get from me now. No, I'm just playing. I like Jason Tatum. I like Jason Tatum or whatever. I like him a lot. I really do. Like, he one of the few Duke players that I say I give mad respect to him. Grant Hill, Jay Will before he got hurt.
Everybody, ran out.
I mean, I tried to ride with Zion as long as I could, but he just like the rest of the cursed Duke players. They can't stay on the court. I mean, they pan out or they just flame out at some point, like 2-3 years. Like, they flame out. You know what I mean? Whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but I guess they gave all their effort to Coach K, and then they get to the NBA and it's over with.
It's over. Well, we got 3 or 4 first-round picks this year to come in and shoot their chance too. So we'll see. Are we gonna do a draft?
I'll put it to you like this. I think Banchero, to me, he reminds me a lot of Jason Tatum, whatever. The only thing I see in Banchero that I didn't see that with Jason Tatum that I didn't see with him is he kind of plays with like one motor, or he kind of like he's waiting for somebody to tell him. It's like he has to be motivated to like take over a game. Like, or whatever. So I think of some of the games that Duke should have won because Banchero kind of waited too long to kind of take over. You know what I mean? So, and he clearly was the best player on the court. Like, if you watch Banchero and Duke play this year, he was clearly the best player on the court every single time you watched him play. But he didn't always bring that effort to me.
I think the steal will be that center though. Mike Will. I won't let Ken answer the question. I think the steal will be the center though. Mike Will, man. I think that center, that big man they got. I think he'll be the steal of the draft, man. He can shoot on all 3 levels. He long, man. He long. He real long. So
I think Griffin gonna be the one because that joke
he can shoot. Yeah,
he can shoot. And you got a player like that can shoot like him, And I think he kind of like Cam Reddish. He kind of got lost in the shuffle, so he didn't get the looks he should have gotten.
Yeah.
I think when he gets to the NBA, depending on what team he lands with, like like he would be good for like you said, like a Lakers, a Dallas, like when you playing with a guard like a Luca, because I think like we talked about with Luca, he needs more shooters around him. You know what I'm saying? So whatever when things break down, you know what I'm saying? He would be big with the Lakers, with the shooters, having shooters around him. Like if you got a pass, I'm gonna say, well, you could put I'm gonna say pass first point guard, but I said willing passing point guard or player or dominant player that wants to get at the shooters. I think he would definitely do good in the NBA. Williams, I like him, but I mean when he get to the NBA, everybody's strong and kind of whatever. I mean he can contribute. I don't know if he'll be a steal, but I think he could contribute.
But I just think he'll go late. I don't think he's gonna be one of the top 15 picks.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I said still.
Yeah, he could contribute. He be like a PJ Tucker type. You know what I'm saying? He can defend and. You know what I'm saying? I think he would be good
I
on a
see him
championship
like a
team.
Bobby Portis. I give him a Bobby
Yeah.
Portis type level.
Yeah. Like I said, he put in that mold where he a tough guy that can give you some defensive prowess. You know what I'm saying, and give you that goon on the court. You know what I'm saying? That I guess today's type goon. You know what I'm saying on the court. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Ken,
I
what
mean,
you think about that game today?
huh?
I asked Ken what he thought about that game today. I know we didn't get his answer.
Oh, I mean, I honestly think the Heat gonna pull it out. I like you were talking about Tatum not being a top 5 player. I think we're going to start seeing more of the just team of guys. There's not going to be that dominant guy like that takes over a game. Like Steph is on his way out. LeBron, he's on his way out. Like Giannis, probably like the last one who really can just be like, okay, everybody move, let me do my thing. I think that quality of player, I don't know if there's anybody in the league that's a young guy that's under 30 is really going to be that guy that's going to be like, yo, move, I got it. Like, just get out my way. You're not going to see that no more. Like, I mean, Tatum, he has it, then he's off. Like you said, he's hot and cold. And Booker, he
No.
ain't it. So it's like, and Ja is entertaining, but he ain't it really. So it's like, there's no guy that's really just, get out of my way. I need to win this game like Giannis did last year in the championship March. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a game to where the Heat are going to just play team ball. I mean, like I said, it could be the Celtics. They could play, but you relying on the old Al Horford still, and I don't know if he's still got enough to to get them to where they need to be. And Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, I'm taking over Jayson Tatum.
Well, see, this is the thing about this series. It's weird to me. It's almost like when a team wins, and then it's kind of like they fall onto they fall back on their laurels, and they just like, okay, well, we can afford to give away this game or just come out halfway
Yeah.
or whatever. In a game 7,
You can't do that.
other than the Phoenix series, I still don't understand what happened there. But in a game 7, normally you have to you gonna play your best ball. You're gonna give your best foot forward. And from a offensive standpoint, you would almost think Boston would have more at the end of the day because to
Yeah.
ask Jimmy Butler to give you another 40 piece and or whatever like that, and for them to win. Because if you look at everybody else's stat line, they really wasn't getting a lot of point production from anybody else. You know what I'm saying out there. And if Tyler Hero is out again, you would almost think that a Marcus Smart on Boston's side, or even Grant Williams ain't give you nothing. He may even step up in this one a little bit more. You might see like Boston players even being more focused and pay attention to details and not turning the ball over as much. Because game 7s is real tight and every possession is like super laser focused type deal. And so you'd almost feel like Boston would do it now. I do agree with you, KB, is that Miami is such a tough-minded team. And I was thinking about this the other day. I said, you're not going to see any more really true big threes anymore. Like going into next year, you could probably pick 8 teams that have a legit chance of getting to the finals because mostly everybody's going to be a 1-2 punch. It's not going to be this, super teams or big three. Like, it's funny now because they call everything a big three now. Like, oh, it's a big three. This a big three. That's a big three. No, their third person is not a star. It's not a big three. You just throwing them in the loop. Like, to me, I always had a problem with Chris Bosh when they would call Chris Bosh necessarily a big three. I didn't never really look at him as the
Really?
no. I never really looked at
not while he was there.
not
No,
while he
coming
was there.
before.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
It's
yeah. I guess once he got there and started actually playing and started getting hurt, yeah. But
He
before
was a great.
like that summer when he went there that summer, Bosh was a top 5, top 3-point.
Yeah. Before he got there, you could say that. But once he got there, and after when you look at that 4-year span, it was a lot of games he didn't show up. You know what I'm saying?
So
Yeah.
a lot.
That playoff series when they lost to the Mavs, he didn't do jack.
And I give you another number. You can go look this up. Game 7 versus the Spurs, the one they won. He had 0 points. A lot of people don't realize that. The game 7 they won, they beat the Spurs. He had 0. He had goose egg. Donut.
Bad,
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so when people kept coming out, and that's why I've always had a problem about him being in the Hall of Fame. I said he can't pretty much got a Hall of Fame off of the coattails of Dwayne Wade and Brian. Like I don't really think he's no Hall of Fame.
I think he was like a 7-time All-Star in Toronto, though. I ain't gonna say
he used to have to campaign for that, man. You know, we used to see that.
What?
That man would have to make videos and campaign for fans to vote him in. We ain't gonna do that.
I ain't know that.
Come on, man.
Y'all be killing with this. Oh, they's a 5-time All-Star, so make him a Hall of Fame famer. No.
I think the NBA Hall of Fame is way oversaturated. But it seems like if you're an All-Star more than 3 or 4 times, they're gonna put you in.
Yeah, did y'all see that list? Did you see the list where they was talking about everybody's team GOAT? They got this list and everybody's in the history of everybody's team GOAT, and they had Kemba Walker as Charlotte's GOAT. I said, really? That's what y'all picked? Charlotte's GOAT? Not Lonzo Mourning. Lonzo Mourning, you could have picked a couple other players.
I'll take Grandmama. I'll take Larry Johnson.
Right.
I mean, I'll take him over Kemba Walker. I like Kemba Walker, but he's not Charlotte's GOAT. I'll tell you that now. And I don't think what you call it. They got Chris Paul as the Clippers GOAT, but I'm trying to think it's somebody I gotta look it up, but it's somebody back in the day that played like in the 70s that was because somebody I think they won a championship or not won a championship, but they came close to winning a championship when they was up under back in the day, the Clippers.
Let me see.
It's somebody, us an old school player that was great back then. I almost want to say it was Oscar Roberts or somebody, but
you seeing guys like Bosh get in the Hall of Fame because it would look real bad if the Hall of Fame had like one guy get in that year or like 2 guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because so they have to kind of water it down so they don't look like it would just look extremely bad. People like, yeah, we didn't vote nobody in this year.
What about Bob McAdoo? That who you talking about?
Bob McAdoo. Exactly. He would be more Clippers GOAT than Chris Paul would be.
Because Chris Paul didn't do nothing in LA.
But you know what I'm saying? Bob McAdoo he was like a big time All-Star before he went to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
So Beverly did more in the Clippers than Chris Paul did.
Oh, yeah. Here you go, bro. Come on.
Hey, you know what? I know we about to get out of here, but you see, y'all keep bringing stuff up, make me want to talk about stuff. And yeah, I'm kind of mad too. I'm disappointed that the voters ain't they moving too slow on this Daniel Snyder thing. But anyway, that's for another time.
That's funny.
What I gonna say? Oh, when Draymond Green said something about the new media or whatever, what do y'all feel? Did y'all hear his rant about the new media?
So I go off on Kendrick Perkins, but I ain't know nothing about it.
So Draymond Green, he was talking about Mad Dog that be on Stephen A. that be on First Take, and he was talking about but basically he was coming at Mad Dog, but he was also telling Stephen A. He like, I respect Stephen A. I like Stephen A. a lot. He said I even kind of like started an argument with Stephen A. just to see how he would come back at me to see if he was a real dude. Because he said, I tell people all the time, even though I go back and forth with Stephen, that he stand on his square. If nothing else, he a real dude. And he was basically trying to he had because Draymond got his own podcast, and then between him and what Pat Bev being on there and taking over the show the last couple of weeks, him and JJ Redick, he's basically saying that the basketball players, or just I guess any ex former athlete who's coming into media and podcasting, that they're not going to allow these old heads to just say stuff without any repercussions, or I think a lot of it has to do with a Skip Bayless type, where they
and I guess
huh?
he found out that I guess he didn't know that. I'm reading it now. He found out that the NBA awards, the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, that stuff is voted on by the media, and I guess he just lost it. He went on a rant. I'm sitting here looking at on my phone, and he's just like, "How the hell do you let the media pick these awards? These guys, Stephen A. Smith has never played in the NBA. These guys have never, played at a high level. Why not have old NBA players that have like a committee? Let them vote and rotate. But I guess you have loyalty teams, you have association affiliation with teams and players. So I can understand not letting them vote on it, but."
Well, I know Stephen A. I know Stephen A. was like, when he came back on it, he basically was like saying that I understand that you played the sport and whatever, and you very knowledgeable, but what we do as analysts and stuff, it's a certain skill level on this end too. And Draymond gave him his credit. He said there's nobody like Stephen A. He said he see people try to be a Stephen A. and they can't pull it off. I think Mad Dog. I don't. I think I've heard of Mad Dog because on Sirius XM. I didn't know exactly who he was, but I heard his voice is like very annoying or whatever. That's why I can't listen to him, because he reminded me of like trying to listen to like Bootsy early in his career when he sounded like Kermit the Frog, and I just couldn't listen to it. But other than that, it was just like, with this Mad Dog dude, he just like, I can't listen to this dude at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just irks me just to hear him conversate or whatever. But he did give him his credit as far as being his one of a kind and knowing his stuff. But I think what Draymond was just saying was that there's no more of this y'all not being accountable. Because think about what Skip Bayless will say something, and then everybody says that he believes everything he says. I just don't believe that. I just cannot. Some of the stuff that come out of his mouth, he's the first troll. Like, to me, before trolling was a thing, Skip Bayless is the ultimate troll to try to pull you out of the woods, to pull that termite out the wood to make you show your head. Like, he'll do and say stuff on purpose, and it's like he's been poking at LeBron for years because he wants LeBron to come at him so bad so he can get more views and more money that he don't know what to do him with. It drives him crazy that LeBron won't respond to him like a KD or like other players will. You know what I'm saying? And even when he does throw shot at Skip Bayless, he doesn't acknowledge him straightforward. So he's still like, oh, that's not what I want. I want you to come on this show and debate me like a TO, or I want you to come at me full throttle so we can really have a conversation. And he won't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think these guys, like with Draymond, is figuring out. Well, one with the media vote and stuff. I think that was a setup initially. I don't know if they changed the rules in like the last 40, 50 years, but remember, media was very powerful. Like when it came to, like, the guys, the reporters were almost just as famous as the players. You know what I'm saying? When they would come, so that power that they probably had then versus now, they just haven't updated
social media.
You know what I'm saying? The systems, But now, when it comes to a guy speaking out, I think that's the power of social media. Like before, the only voice you would hear are the analysts and the commentators. Like their word was law. But now you got these players with podcasts. You got these ex-players with shows and stuff that are on now that now they're giving their opinion. And I'll probably listen to a Draymond or Matt Barnes talk about the game more than I would Skip, because, like you said, they were in it. The face card, they got that's, you know what I'm saying, the criteria to speak about the game.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think you you're going to see more of those guys starting to get scared off. Like, look at the NFL. You name a guy who
Steph, the only
didn't
one.
play and who talks about the game. Like, it's hard to find one.
So,
Period.
Especially
So what y'all-
since the old heads, the real old heads.
yeah.
Right.
So what do y'all think about what Draymond said and Jason Tatum said as well, where we don't have these ex-NBA people voting, you have these media people voting, but it affects your contract. You know, you get Trae Young activated his supermax because he made an All-NBA team. So his salary jumped up $38 million. So
I
And,
think
you got
and Klay Thompson missed out on his supermax because of the voting a few years ago.
So yeah, how you feel about that when that part starts? Because these media guys are, you guys are like, oh, I don't want to talk to the media. Well, you're probably not going to get one of them votes from
I think it
somebody
should be
because you
mixed, man.
spited them.
I think it need to be
So-
mixed. I think it need to be half and half, or at least I think you
Yeah.
have to have a little bit of both. Like I think the media do play a part in it because they do break down the game and analyze the game more so, each game more so than a player does. Because a player may watch bits and pieces of a game, like, or he may just say go off of the fact that he got cooked by a play on the court or whatever. So, but I do think both of them play a role. I think you can't have one without the other. You need, like I said, at the end of the day, you still need media because without media, like you wouldn't be able to have as much exposure. You know what I'm saying? As far as on a global scale, so media does play a major role in sports. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So or
I,
whatever.
I think they should do it kind of like how the Heisman does it. Like you have your, your qualified group of people who can do it from, the media. Then you also have everybody who's won. Everybody who's ever won a Heisman gets to vote on who's the Heisman winner, and they take both votes. And I think when it comes down to basketball, like guys that are all pros, like if you've been an all pro at least 3 times in your career, you can get a vote. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where
I just say you
your
need to have
input.
a media and roll it out because you can't keep some of them same old heads always voting because they'll say, oh, this era like my era.
Then you
You know
got to
what I
do you got to do like the government. You got to change it out there like every 4
mean?
years.
Yeah, every 4 years or something. Yeah,
Something like that. You bring in new eyes and ears to vote. Saying on these players or whatever, and don't make it like a thing where you got the same guys for 20, 30 years voting, and then
And it was,
like you
and
said,
it was,
if he
yeah.
get mad, if a media person get mad because he don't like a player's answer for whatever reason, or a player don't give him a hard time, then they want to go against him like they did against who was announcer? Dang, who was it? He was talking about. He had came out when he was talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not gonna vote on Aaron Rodgers over the pandemic situation or not taking the vaccine, and it's like, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with whether or not he should get votes. Like I don't agree. I don't agree with a lot of stuff Aaron Rodgers does, but I know he still can ball out. He still can play. It is what it is. That's what it's about. It's about whether you can play or not. I don't care about what you got going in your personal life. I don't care if James Harden go to Magic City eat chicken wings every night. Can he play? Is he gonna ball out or is he ain't?
Go to City
You know
and
what
eat
I'm saying?
chicken every night
Right.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I don't, what I mean? I don't, it's like you'd be like, oh man, LeBron James talks about drinking wine all the time. Okay, LeBron James can be an alcoholic, but if he ball out on the court, he can drink all the liquor he want to drink when he go home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really, I don't really get caught up in that part of the thing or whatever. People's, stuff like that, whatever. I just look at where you could play. Now, when you do stuff like a Ben Simmons or a Kyrie Irving, that's when I take a little bit more like, I can't fool with you. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But other than that, that's about the only time and that don't even really be about a personal thing. It'd be more about just I feel like you're not a team player or you thinking you're a selfish person. Like sometimes I get caught up in between when I hear a player like a Bradley Beal or even like Carmelo years ago, is the money more important than trying to win? So
I
it's like
mean,
I get the bag, but
I mean,
it's like
I'm not mad at if
that's
somebody
tough.
is
That's a tough
financially driven.
That's tough because the competitor in me wants to be the champion and wants to be the best, but the lifestyle that I see so many people and so many how people live that I don't want to live. I'm trying to separate myself and give my family a better lifestyle. I want to maximize the bag so I can help as many people as I can. So it feels like it's a tough line to walk.
Mm-hmm.
If I was personally in that situation, I'm probably gonna take the bag over the ring. Just being honest. If I
And see, I'm gonna say this before we go too, because I forgot who was just saying this the other day. I forgot to remember who it was. I think it was Amon Shumpert. I seen him on the interview. I think it was Amon, and he was saying that basically he said that the reason why players nowadays team up and switch teams the way they do, he said because he said they hear the conversations that the old heads have with each other about who did win a championship and rag them like Shaq with Charles Barkley and other players.
stay on that man
You know
head.
what I'm saying? He said it'd be private conversations that these players will have about the ones who didn't win, and they be, they probably sitting around like men do, talking junk to each other. And he said new players don't want to go their whole career and then put themselves in position to win. And I tell people that all the time. Just because the way the old heads did it in certain situations don't mean everybody got to be the same way. So just because Jordan won the way he did or Kobe won the way he did or whatever doesn't mean LeBron or KD have to do it the same way. If you get to the end of the road, if you get to your destination, however you get there, as long as you ain't do nothing integral wise, like to make yourself look crazy, like you didn't sell your soul or something to get there, then what difference does it make how you got there? You know what I'm saying? As long as you get there, whatever you got the results you was looking for.
Can y'all
Now,
imagine if he never won a championship? Let's he stayed in Cleveland and had never won a championship to this year. Can you imagine what his career? Can you imagine the criticism people would put on him if he had never won a championship to this day and still being?
Look, or
hey,
think of it in the sense of, they talk trash about LeBron leaving, but what if Charles Barkley was facing that, yo man, 250 million to sign with the no-name scrubs for the rest of your career, or you can take this 105 and go
He
play with
did. Remember, he tried to run to the Sixers. Didn't they have a loaded team with the Sixers?
who
with
with the sick
Barkley.
who Barkley?
Yeah, when he went to Phoenix, did he go somewhere with a loaded team? Oh, he wouldn't play with Elijah.
Well, he went to Phoenix. They wasn't loaded, but he
Right,
tried to go from Phoenix to Houston, and he was still in his prime. See, people don't realize when Barkley went from Phoenix to Houston, he had just was in the All-Star game and still was putting up like 25 points a game or 20 something points a game and giving you 10 rebounds. So it wasn't like he was washed. Now he was at his peak level of his game. He was probably like, like Boston with Garnett and them boys, where he was kind of like, this is my last chance to win, but he wasn't like done. So,
right.
but for Barkley to even put it out at times that he don't like how players jump teams, Barkley, you did it. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
you
what
knew it
I
was your
thought.
last
Okay, I
chance
thought
to
he
win.
did. Yeah, I thought so.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, we gonna get out here for the day. Great show. Jayson Jones was, like I said, I'm happy to have him back on, and we're gonna start trying to do that moving forward too. Is having some of the people that we had in the beginning to come back on here just to see their success stories and their levels and where they've gotten to. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, of course, if y'all got people on here that y'all have had on before that y'all, they got a something level, next level they got going on. We definitely can have them back on here just so we could show that support
Yeah, we
or
definitely did.
whatever.
We just did. As a matter of fact, we just
Oh,
had a guy that that a kid, man, that was in a process and then wound up committing, and he's on his ascension. So that was cool to have him on the other week.
okay, cool. So, like I said, man, we gonna keep it going. Y'all stand by for a second while I end the show. You know what I'm saying? And we get up out of here, man. Everybody have a blessed Memorial weekend. Don't eat too much barbecue or drink too much because you got to go to work on Tuesday. So we be up out of here. Boy, icon. With my man KB the Amazing, Steve O. You know what I'm saying? And happy birthday once again to my man Jacob the Great. That's why
Yes,
he
sir.
not on here today. Happy birthday to Big Bro. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. I know I know he enjoying himself. Right, let's put it like that. So we'll say happy birthday to bruh. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir.